How do you know when somebody's martial art is really good? Well, let's just put it this way. I'm going to say right off the rip, there is no perfect martial art. Sorry to bust your bubble. You can probably start crying and stop the video right here. But if you're a real martial artist, you'll probably want to keep on listening. So, I tout myself as a Wing Chuner. Okay, so Wing Chun is in my DNA. My father has been doing it since before I was even born. I was doing it since I was about 5 years old, and my kids have been doing it since they were born. So Wing Chun is definitely something that's in my DNA. I actually created an art, which I call WCS, or Wing Chun Science, that is an amalgamation of a few martial arts. So when I was younger, my father's system, the Wing Chun Kali system, is something that I instituted in my style of fighting. And, you know, Kali is a stick and knife fighting art. Of course, you can do it empty hands too. But boxing was kind of like my first love. Boxing was the thing that I really loved to do, just as an expression of myself. And Wing Chun was something that was my father's, and although he did boxing and everything as well, the love that I had first was for boxing. I think there's great agility, footwork, mobility, stability in boxing that is second to none, and great balance. But it's not the end all be all. And neither is Kali, and neither is Wing Chun, and I hate to say it to you guys, neither is Jiu-Jitsu, neither is grappling, neither is wrestling, neither is all of those things. Now, they're all awesome as a tool, and you can use a tool pretty far, okay? So they're all awesome as a tool, but none of them do anything without the conviction of the martial artist applying it. I don't know how to say it. I've written books about it. Literally, I've made trillions of videos. I created a system, the Wing Chun Kali system, that imbibes the whole gamut. So Wing Chun, although Wing Chun is the DNA and the catalyst of the art that I created, it has everything else. It has the grappling. It has the jiu-jitsu-esque ways of jiu-jitsu being. It's not jiu-jitsu at all, but if someone were to look at it just from the naked eye, someone who doesn't know anything about martial arts and saw my type of ground game and a jiu-jitsu guy, they would go, oh wow, that's great, that's the same thing. And it wouldn't be the same thing, but there's similarities. And I believe all martial arts have similarities. You know, at the end of the day, you're fighting someone and you get punched in the head, you don't go, oh gosh, that jiu-jitsu punch, oh, that boxing punch, oh, that wrestling punch, oh, that taekwondo punch. You don't go through the whole gamut of martial arts that punch. You just go, ouch, that was a punch. And at the end of the day, if that person landed it and it was effective, whatever he or she used did it properly, and it served the purpose that it was supposed to. So at the end of the day, listen, yes, we all have our special tool. Mine is Wing Chun. But I would just say, actually, mine is the Wing Chun Science that I teach, which, like I said, is a concoction of them all, with the Wing Chun being the biggest element in all of it. But nonetheless, I am still open and free as I teach people and as I learn myself, you know, from all of the other arts, that, hey, listen, I hate to keep on using the same analogy, but a screwdriver, you know, can do the job of a screwdriver. It cannot do the job of a hammer, although I can turn the screwdriver around and kind of use it like a hammer. I can use a hammer to do what a hammer's job does, and I don't even know, maybe I'll use the fork of the hammer and turn it around and maybe use it like a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, each tool, although maybe they can do a little bit of some of what the other tools can do, that's not what they were created for. And Wing Chun, for example, was created for a specific purpose. Boxing was created for a specific purpose. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, grappling, taekwondo, you name it, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the intentionality to actually do and utilize the tool optimally for what it was created for, then it's worth nothing. So, if you're going to use your martial art, make sure you understand that it is a tool. You still have to, if you want to grow, if you want to be useful, if you want to survive, because not everything is going to be done in a setting where you have judges and cameras and cornermen, and okay, that's great, you know, that you, if that's what you're aspiring to do, of course, that's beautiful, but real life fighting is not going to be in a cage, in a ring, on mats. You know, there's going to be no cage, no ring. There's going to be concrete. There's going to be banana peels. There's going to be rain. And there's going to be the elements that we really, truly should be training for. Now, don't get me wrong. You go in and you do your 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kick, 1, 2, 3, do your 1, 2, pull 2, and all of those are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, it's all phenomenal. But what you're learning are patterns, and I can literally teach a gorilla a pattern also. You're learning patterns. Unfortunately, when you get into the street, those patterns are all thrown out the window because anything can be used. And that's why it's important to have all of these tools at your disposal. But like I said, the tools are part and parcel of the fight. The fight is here. If you do not have it inside of you, if you do not have the will to hurt somebody, it will not happen. And I don't care what martial arts tells you anything other than that. If you do not have it in your mind to put on that animal in the street and do what you need to do to survive, you will not survive. I don't care what kind of skill sets you have. And let me just also say, you know, when I opened up the gym in Tampa for the first time, you know, I had all of these other gyms that wanted to come in and see what we had and test our stuff. And I remember specifically when I was teaching my students to fight with that vigor, with that mindset that you may not make it out alive and it's either going to be you or that person. I remember other coaches and teachers were like, what? Why are you teaching this stuff? And it's like, I immediately knew, you know, it's not like they're not good at what they do, and it's not, but if you're not teaching your students what it really takes to survive and what combat really is, it's not just relegated to a ring or a cage. Combat means combat. It's survival to me. And if you're not learning that, you're being cheated. Because even if you say, well, I'm never going to get into a fight in the street, I'm never looking to get into a fight. Yeah, that's great. I'm not looking to get into a fight in the street either. However, if I have to, and my life depended on it, or my family's life depended on it, you can rest assured that I am going to be a vicious animal, ready to do whatever it is at all costs. And if you're not training your mind for that, then I guarantee you, you will succumb to the brutality of life. Okay? So I'm making this video and I'm imploring you, try everything, you know, play around with the different styles. Don't be so religious about your style being the only style. Chances are that if that's all you're doing, then you're lacking a lot of other things. And, you know, I've definitely learned that along the way. And I'm saying this from a coach's vantage point. So, as you know, WCS was birthed with that mindset, okay, with that ideology, okay, with that frame of mind that's all about combat. Even before we started touching MMA and all that other nonsense. So I created this channel on Instagram because this one is going to be a platform where I'm going to be introducing more, and I will be showing, you know, some of the similarities that other martial arts have, that so that we can kind of squelch this whole thing. Remember, if you put this label on you, see, that's why WCS, Wing Chun Science, it was I would say an ambiguous Wing Chun. It was the element of having all of the other things in it because it's mine. It was created by me, and it was created for me originally. But if you put on the tag, I am only a Taekwondo guy, I am only a Judo guy, I am only a, you know, MMA guy, I am only, well, if that's what you only are, then that's what you will only always be. And you got to be more than that. And you have to think, like I said, outside of the game or the sport of fighting. Will you be prepared, even with all of your years of martial arts? Will you be prepared to turn on that switch to something different, to become an animal for real protection should you need it? Okay? That's what this page is all about. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, silly things you want to say, funny things, whatever, you could DM me. You could leave the message here. There will be a point where if there's just dumb messages, I'll probably just delete it because it's not worth the time. But if you have something that's actually, you know, viable and sincere in order for me to put my time towards, then absolutely I will respond for sure. All right, looking forward to hearing from you guys. Peace.